What is up, everyone? DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video for my channel. Today I have a really good one. We're going to do a little tutorial, kind of mini review on a older laptop, but it's still good in 2024. And I definitely wanted to start with this because it's a good value. It's still good in 2024, and I'll tell you exactly where to find it at a great price, and you can get started getting into that Apple universe with this laptop. And so we're talking about the 2020 model of the MacBook Air or Pro. We're going to talk about both of them and let you know which one is a little bit different. But they were so close that year that a lot of people said the value was really with the Apple Air. So we're going to talk about both, but really it'll be up to you what you decide what you really need. But it's a great place to start, and it's still good in 2024. So we're going to talk about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. Just know that I love to do reviews. I love to do tutorials. I love to just help. I love doing that research for you so you don't have to. Give it to you as easy as possible and leave some link in case you're interested in some of the products that we talk about. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share if this is helpful at all. And join the Martini Nation. Let's continue to grow this channel. Let's hit 5,000 subscribers this year. And I just want to thank everybody who's subscribed so far. You guys are all awesome. So thank you so much. Let's get into the video. And the reason why I'm making this video is I did have a 2017 MacBook Air. Really enjoyed. I made a video on it just to get into the Apple universe. I've never really had a MacBook Pro or Air or anything. I had iPhones and iPads for a long time, but I'd never really dabbled into the laptops or the desktops. And so I wasn't familiar with those at all. And so I kind of, I always watch videos and they talk about, how fantastic they are and all those types of things, especially in the DJ world. And so I just wanted to give it a test myself. And so I picked up an older one at a great price. I did like, from the standpoint of the universe of Apple, how the iPhone, the iPad, and the computer all worked together really seamlessly. And it was pretty cool that, you could be doing something and texts pop up and you could make calls and you can text from your computer and you can just do all kinds of cool stuff with that universe and how everything works together very, very well. And so, from a standpoint of that, I do like it. Now, Windows versus Apple, I don't want to get into that now, but I kind of put some points out there in another video, but I'm still a Windows person, we'll put it that way. But I do like how it all worked together. So from the standpoint, I wanted to still pick up a MacBook, but I didn't want to buy a brand new one. I don't want to spend that $1,000, or for a Pro it's like $1,300 and ends up. And so I didn't want to spend a lot of money, but I still wanted to kind of upgrade that 2017 model to a 2020 model at least, because we'll talk for some reasons why here in just a second. That 2017 model, you can't use certain apps with it. It doesn't work with certain software, and so it's very limited in what you can do with it. I would definitely recommend not to get anything past 2020 or the M1 chip, because you're just not going to be able to do a lot of things with it. You can do basic stuff, watch videos, Apple Music. You can do certain things with it, but it is limited on the apps and the software that you can use. You can't use the full library of apps in Apple's, uh, app library. So it's limited, but it still works. Most, from what I've checked out, that an Apple laptop lasts for about 8 to 10 years, and then it's going to be discontinued. You're not going to be able to get support for it. And discontinued from a standpoint that, yeah, it's not going to get updates anymore. It's not going to be able to get the latest drivers and security and things like that, and it's going to kind of phase itself out for support. And so you have about that 8 to 10 year window. With the 2017 model, not only could it's going to get phased out here really soon, in the next 2 years or so, and also I just wasn't able to use it with software and apps that I wanted to be able to use it with. And so I decided the 2020 model is the best place to start, because the MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air were so close in performance that year that a lot of people were like, you could go with the Air and you're still going to get a lot of performance for your dollar that you're going to pay for it compared to the Pro. And so they were so close, you were good with either way you wanted to go. And so we're going to talk about the comparison here as well. So that's kind of the reason why I wanted to talk about it today and tell you about the great value that you can find it So stay tuned where you can find it for the great prices that we're going to talk about. Those are kind of the reasons behind it and why I think it's still good in 2024. And so we're going to talk about the 2020 model and why pick that one. Well, that was the first year that they came out with the M1 chipset. And if you do some research, when you look at software and apps, they all say use the M1 chip and above. And so that's when they started the M1 chip is in that 2020 model. 2020, you can also get some Intel i7s, i5s, i3s, but make sure you're looking. My advice or research is make sure you're getting the M1 chip or above because that's where you can use everything in the Apple world and you're still going to be okay. You're also, even with the 2020 model, you're still going to have 3 to 4 years of use with this computer. So I think that's pretty good. If you can use a laptop for 3 to 4 years still, even when it's older, I think that's a good place to start because usually people saying laptops are outdated in that time anyway. So you're going to get some good use out of this laptop, even if you're picking up a 2020 model. Let's talk about the reasons why the difference between an Air and a Pro. Now, it's going to sound like I'm talking a lot of good reasons to get a Pro, but really, when I get to the end, stand by for it. I'll explain why they were so similar that it's gonna be a toss up actually. So, all right, so let's just jump into the comparison between the Air and the Pro. And we have to jump right to the Pro, of course, because the Pro has the extra cool benefits. The Pro has a fan in it, which the Air does not. The Pro has a 60-watt charger compared to the 30-watt charger for the Air. The Pro has a 100 nit brighter screen. It has a touch bar, which I'll show later. 2 hours more battery life, better speakers, and better microphone, according to Apple and some of the research I did. The speakers, in my opinion, sound similar, but the microphone for sure does sound a little bit better on the Pro. Of course, the Air will take a little longer to charge because of that 30 to 60 watt charger. And like I said, you get a little bit more battery life. But other than that, it was very comparable when it comes to everything else. The Pro also had one extra core of GPU, so that will help a little bit with gaming, but really they were very, very close when they were actually tested to performance. And usually all those tests were around 1% of difference between performance between the Air and the Pro, which is crazy because a lot of people said the value that you get the Air for was crazy, and so they would really recommend the Air over the Pro unless you wanted sustained use, pushing the computer with, video editing, any kind of editing, and you're going to do it for a long time over a long period of time. That was the only time that they had the Pro show a lot big difference in performance with the multi-core and things like that. So absolutely, if you're going to push it to the limit for a sustained amount of time, also that fan is going to help keep temperatures down. That's why you end up with a little bit better performance on the Pro. But if you're going to do basic things with your computer, then the Air was just fine. So that's kind of why I picked this 2020 model, because it has the M1 chipset and it's going to last a couple, 3 to 4 more years with the updates, and it's staying around performance wise with things. It's also recommended for software and apps that you want the M1 or above. And so I think this is a great place to start if you're looking in the Apple universe and you want to pick up a MacBook. The Air and the Pro are so close that you could definitely get a great value in that. And also, I'm going to tell you where to find them. Now, I do have a Pro back here, but I only picked it up. I would have been happy with the Air because of the price point I found it at. And so I got it for $550 on eBay, which was a great deal. I got it from an actual computer refurbisher. And that's one thing I would have a tip and say, that when you're doing things on eBay, make sure you try to find somebody that has really good feedback. Check a history on the seller, see what kind of feedback they're getting, and also if they actually refurbish or fix computers. Check their other items that they sell. That way you can know if they're fixing computers or electronics or those types of things. And just do a little bit of research and you can probably find a pretty good deal on these computers. It was a really good deal, over half price from a brand new one. And like I said, it's going to last me for a couple years, have compatibility with all the software that I want to use because it's using that M1 chip. And so be careful, like I said, because some old 2020 models still had the Intel i7, i5, i3. So make sure you're getting that M1 chip, and that's kind of important so you can get a good laptop that's going to last a few more years. And this was a big difference between the 2017 model to the 2020 model, of course, with the performance. So it was pretty cool. Another place that you can find them, of course, I said eBay. The next one would be Amazon. You can get a renewed one for about $629 with the same specs, 8 gig RAM, and the 256. Like I said, mine's 512, but 256 memory. About $629 is still a good price for a Air or a Pro, depending on what you're looking for. It might be a little bit more for the Pro, but you'll be really, really close between that $600, $700 mark, which, like I said, is still a big difference from a brand new one at $1,300 out the door. And so you're getting a pretty good discount. And then the last place that you want to take a look at is actually Walmart has a deal on a brand new one, 2020. It's a 2020 model, but it's brand new from Apple. Must have a warehouse with all these computers still in it, and they're selling them for $699, which is a great deal. And so I believe it's the 8 gig, 256 gig, and it is a Apple Air. It's brand new, so you don't have to worry about any damage or any issues with it. It's coming brand spanking new. So very, very cool there. Great deal. But like I said, if you want to take your chances and look in eBay or Amazon for a renewed one, you're going to get a pretty good laptop as well. And that's why I kind of wanted to put the value out there, because you're getting a laptop that's going to still last for, 3 to 4 years, which is great. You're still going to get a laptop that performs with all the software and apps that a newer one will work with. And then, like I said, the Pro and the Air were so close that no matter which one you pick, you're going to get a good valued MacBook out there. So it's a really, really cool deal. I definitely wanted to bring it to you all. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Final thoughts though, absolutely, if you can afford a brand new one, go for it. But this video was kind of made so you could get a good deal, dabble into the Apple universe with a new MacBook or a new used or renewed MacBook, and it's still going to be able to do everything that you need to do in 2024, but it's a 2020 model, so you're going to save a little bit of money, a couple $100, or maybe even more. And I think that's a great value today. So that's definitely why I wanted to bring it to you, so you get a value, bring you the information, compare them a little bit, and then tell you where to find them. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. I got so much great content this year. Please lock into this channel, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell notification so you know when I come out with my next video, and a lot more coming for 2024. So check me out. Thank you so much. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you're using, if you think 2020 was a good model as well, if you still have one, or if you're thinking about picking one up just to get into the Apple universe. I think that's a great idea. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll check you really, really soon on my next video, and later.